And just like that, welcome back, everybody. Once again, August 3rd, 2023, Crypto After Dark. I hope everybody had a lovely week. Boy, it was rocky over here in the TA world. We'll talk about that in a moment. It was pretty wild to see the crazy things happen with the charts that they did. Hang on a second. There we go. I got to get the camera to focus. Sometimes I have to hit the autofocus for the camera to focus without autofocus. Figure that out. But good to see everyone. I'm going to start with some things tonight that are a little off of what we normally do, right? But I think it's important to see because you can't always be perfect on your predictions on these things. All you can kind of do is kind of see it and play it how the ball lies. Well, sometimes things just go a total other direction on you. You know what I mean? Kind of what happened with the dollar index, which is what we're going to talk about first. But let's get into it. Why don't we? Welcome, everybody. If you haven't done so, please hit the like button. The more people we have that hit the like button, the more people YouTube will help us out with. All right. We're getting close to 10,000. We're still not there. I'm hoping we get to 10,000 subscribers before too long. I'd love to have 10,000 before the next bull run starts. I think we'll get there. But I don't know. I still haven't spent any money on advertising or anything. So, whatever. But, hey, look, hit the like, hit the notification bell and subscribe. Pound that notification bell. That's what all the people say you're supposed to say to get people to click. I don't think that works. Anyway, let's start off with the dollar index. That was on the thumbnail for a reason, okay? When we were here last week, none of this existed. None of this big green move up here existed. It wasn't even there yet. But over the course of the last 6 days, mega green, back to back to back to back green candles. All through this time, I honestly thought this thing was going to slow down. It didn't. Just ran clean through every single resistance level that I thought it would stop at. Looking back, I see all this resistance pushed right through it. 2 little red candles and pushed through. Even more back here, pushed through that. Even more resistance up here, pushed through that. That all got me thinking, hey man, maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe I'm just flat dead wrong, right? It's almost as if all of this happened back here in July when we had that rate pause, was immediately soaked right back up by this retrace. Now, the good news here is, as you can see, I'm going to take the moving averages off and everything here. As you can see, we appear to just hit the trend line so far and played a little bit of ping pong. So, honestly, I didn't think it was going to make it this far, but it did. I thought surely it would come up short at the 50 and slow down or something. It didn't. It powered right through all the way to the trend line. Now, I do like the fact that it threw this red candle off of the trend line. That's an initial good sign. Things were getting a little overbought on the lower time frames. You had 3 times this thing kind of banged its head on overbought. Didn't quite get there, but kind of banged its head on overbought. It was overbought back here. The daily never got that way, though. We just had a free Discord class on TA, and we went over the RSI and the MACD, and we talked about how the overbought and oversold conditions work, right? It never got there, but on the 4 hour, it did a couple times, right? So looking at this now, I see we have this up or down trend that's still holding, this downtrend that failed with this breakout right here. And honestly, I didn't see this coming. I thought it would go down farther. We can use this little arrow here as a bit of a trend line. And we can see that we are very snugly hanging on right there. If you notice, it still hasn't failed. And I could use this wick. I understand that. If this fails, I'm going to pull this out here with this wick because I'm not really sure I believe that wick. That's an insane candle right there. All right. Not sure I'm buying that. So that looks to me like a very sharp uptrend that has yet to actually quit. Just outside looking in, she's got power, right? That's got power. So what do I do, right? I'm stuck in this situation. Do I say this is going short or do I say this is going to bounce the trend line? Honestly, conservative me is going to say this is going to bounce the trend line. And we'll get into more of why I think it'll do that in a moment. But I kind of get that vibe that this is going to bounce the trend line. and go back north. And the green trend line is what I'm talking about. It doesn't have to do that. It could fail. And if it fails, I think that's good for crypto. All right. So let me back out for a second and get back to weekly here. Now, the reason I thought this was going lower because we had lower highs and lower lows and lower highs and lower lows, and we had an extremely low low. Now we're making a lower high, but I just didn't think it would push back up in through this. I honestly thought it would hit this red line here, and that would be the point where it said, hold up, you know what I mean, and slow down. It didn't. It pushed through. Another green week. So you got 3 solid green weeks back to back to back. Same thing happened here, right? 3 solid weeks back to back to back. You had 4 solid weeks back to back to back here. It's all trending down though. So am I to expect this thing to peel back next week? Well, there's some economic news on the forefront, right? Jobs report comes out tomorrow, and then next week there's some more stuff, right? There is no August session as far as Federal Reserve rates. So it doesn't come back till September, and that's late September when that comes back. One would expect the downtrend to continue. Yeah, if it was already in a downtrend and there's nothing that's really going to stop that, well, one would expect, dude, 3 solid ass weeks of green. All right, so I'm in a bit of a pickle here. What do I say? So I'm still going to go with more down. I think we may get back to this red line at least, which doesn't seem like a long way, but honestly for the dollar, that's a good bit off. And if that happens, this will probably propel crypto, which tends to work the opposite direction, back up some. So let's now, after seeing the dollars hitting the trend line, I may come back down. Let's look at crypto. All right. So depending on how I draw this trend line, and yes, it's subjective and I don't like this, but I'm just trying to be realistic. Okay. The way this thing came off that bottom and went up, then came back down and kind of fooled around with this line, but stayed above. If I take this point and this point, it all lines up. This third point, maybe not, maybe not, right? Fourth point looks like we may have tagged the trend line perfectly and thrown that green candle. And we immediately reversed right back with that gnarly red candle, which sucked. After seeing this big green volume bull candle come in there, that's a bullish hammer candle, followed directly by bearish engulfing. Just not what you want to see. It's the exact same thing that happened back here. The good news is it can't keep doing this, all right? It's either got to fail miserably or bounce. There's 2 options here, and there's no in between. I like all the buy pressure. I like the fact that it's hanging on to this line just like it did when it hung on up here, right? After a while, this the sell pressure will wear off. Now, if I look at weekly, well, there could be more down, yeah? Now, if I add in the 821 EMA and our 50 moving average, you see we're playing around with the weekly 8 EMA now, all right? If I go to Bitcoin CME, which is Chicago Mercantile Exchange, it's a little bit different look. So let me go to daily first. Similar layout here. I got the trend lines kind of touching and going up. And I'm trying to be subjective and as close as I can with this without being a dummy. Again, just such little volume here, bouncing back and forth and back and forth. And there is no big green bull hammer candle over here, just a regular hammer candle and an immediate shooting star candle behind that. So I've seen this double doji pattern before where you get the green and the red right behind it. So typically whatever pattern you were already in continues. We were already going up, so typically that continues. If it were the other way around and you're already going down, well, that down would continue. There's no guarantee there, okay? No guarantees. Higher time frame says, we'll see. Put the moving averages back up there for you. You see you're riding on the 50 still. Hasn't failed. All right. It is struggling with the 821 EMA here. There's no doubting that. It doesn't want to jump over and go. It keeps hugging the bottom there, which I don't want to see. I want to see it jump over top of this 821 EMA, which is the purple and the green line, and get moving. Just hasn't done it yet. Continues to play very, very stubborn. Man, look, I put my phone off of silent for one time. If y'all know me like personally, and some of you guys do, I never have my phone on with the volume. But since no one's here today, it's just me. Everybody else is at school. And yes, I know that sounds ridiculous for it being almost midnight, but they have one day a year where all the teachers go and they stay till midnight and they all work together. to achieve a common goal, right? So this is that night. I was up there with them for quite a few hours. I'm back home, but they're still there, so I'm here by myself. I don't like that it's under the pivot and bounced it like that. Put the pivot points up there. You can see it. Just slapped that pivot and immediately failed. Just like that. 30,000 was hardcore. Good news is it bounced in the other direction off that 50 off of S1. It's dead stuck solidly in the middle of the range. In the next few days, you're going to get your answer of what's going to happen here. All right. There's something has to go one way or the other. You're running into a trend line. You're pinching moving averages. You're stuck dead in the middle of the range on the pivots. If I put in the Bollinger Bands, hey, guess what? They got really narrow when you move down. Now the Bollinger Bands are pointing down. This needs to get back up here to this midline in a hurry. If that happens, the Bollinger Bands will start to pinch again. If I go back to the regular Binance chart, it's a little different. There you go. It's a little tighter here, yeah? All right, so these bands are starting to pinch now. We may see something happen over the weekend here, which I don't want to see. I don't want to see moves on the weekend because it creates gaps. However, we don't have anything to stop that. This is all dependent on what the dollar index does. If the dollar index pulls back, great. We're going to see this thing break north and head toward my 34,000 target. 32 to 34,000 is where I think things are going to go. If it does break north. Here's my evidence for that. Number one, we have a CME gap right here. We talked about this last week. Have a CME gap right here that has not closed yet. It's the last gap. I get the vibe that there's one more move here toward this gap. Hit that gap, complete the move, and then we retrace. All right, it would make sense for more than one reason other than just the fundamentals of the gaps closing. It would also be a damn near perfect run up to about the 50 and a fail. It's already hit the 50 one time. Yeah, you see that? Already bumped that 50 one time. If it broke the 50 and ran back up here and came back to the 50, that is fine with me. Okay. There happens to be some resistance over here, right along the same lines as that CME gap. We're kind of fighting this resistance right now. Yeah, you see that? That's why I expected the dollar index to stop and it didn't. Well, you see here, Bitcoin did stop. It stopped twice, here and here. Now, luckily, we still got higher highs and higher lows. Anything changes there, she's toast. And by toast, I mean heading back toward the 20,000 range. Why do I say the 20,000 range? If I pull this fib back in the other direction, as if it's about to fail, and we have a top here, all right? If I grab the bottom down here, and I pull this up like so, anywhere through here, if I grab that point or if I grab this point, it's not going to matter much here. All right. 50 fib is at 22,000. 618, 21,000. All the golden pocket right here is about 20,000. Also note, this thing had a hard time failing the 20,000 level before, didn't it? It bounced it, came back down, played ball, and then failed real quick with an immediate reaction back up. All right, I didn't expect it to do what it did, but it did it. All right. It's my belief that if it fails, that's where it's going to fail too. That 22 to 20,000 range. Now, again, this is predicated by how much more down are we going to go here? If we don't go any more down and we move up from here, I think we may be all right. No guarantees, okay? If I pull a fib on this small frame right here, the small little move we got right here, you'll see still in range between 236 and 382. It's stuck dead in the middle. Well, what am I supposed to do? Yeah. It's stuck dead in the middle. There's nothing. A freaking month and a half of nothing. Sorry. I want it to move. I promise you I do. One way or the other, that way I get some data, because the more data I have, the better decision I can make. I just can't make a good decision with bad data. So if I pull it in this fashion, this is the Bitcoin chart. I'm bouncing back and forth between the Bitcoin chart and the CME chart because they're a little different. All right, same thing here, stuck in the range. Chop, chop, chop. Nothing I can do. When I get a break, I will play it. Can't do anything. Now let's put in some moving averages and you'll see that she's a little stuck under the 58 and 21, where you saw a minute ago in the CME chart. that you were over the 50. We're actually under the 50 over here. Now, the good news is there's other support down here. 100 moving average is right below the wick that this thing threw earlier. All right, that's 28.5. It ain't just going to blow through that 100 moving average, in my opinion. It could, but I don't think it will. I think that will act as some support. And if that's the case, cool. We might get a bounce from there. Would that line up with a fib anywhere? Well, not really. You'll see here that the 100 moving average is kind of dead in between fibs as well. So maybe a bounce and a reaction. I don't know. It's going to be up to what the dollar index does. And that's why I wanted everyone to see that dollar index first. Thought it was important for everyone to understand that it's not all about what crypto does. There's a factor of what the dollar does as well. All right. Let me say hey to everyone. Get a list of what everybody wants to look at, and we'll keep going here. If you have something you want to look at, please use the chat box right there on YouTube. Type it up. Ask what you'd like to see. I'll write it down, and we'll try to get through every single one of them. I already had a few requests from Twitter that I've already written down here. I'm going to look at those first after we say hey to everyone. If you've got something you want to see, ask me. Miss Kelly Slade already asked about XDC, but I already had that wrote down. So Ron Poteet said he didn't get to see the TA class earlier. He was hanging out with his granddaughter, and that's super awesome, bro. Family first. Fuck all this YouTube stuff. Hang out with the family first. That's awesome, by the way. Bullish CEO. I missed the last one, but not this one. Let's go. Good to see you, brother. Old school OG on here. Oculus Fizzin. What's up, ma'am? How are you? Kelly Slade says, check out XTC. I got you, ma'am. I've already wrote it down. Text, what's up, brother? Jeremy Monroe, howdy, y'all. Crypto Trauma, my cousin Jeremy, what's up? Jeremy, text me. I want to see if you work Tuesday or Wednesday because I have tickets to Panthers and Jets training camp, and I need somebody to go with me. Ariana, what's up, ma'am? Good to see you. JD Crypto, good to see you, brother. Raclette, Cheesy, Keith the Simp, damn right. Cheese, Lunatic Prophet, good to see you, Jag. Find me a 2008 half-ton 4x4 with LQ. I'll go ahead and take LS if you have, right? 2. Low miles, no salt exposure, super cheap. I'm sorry they don't exist. You just asked for a unicorn. Quigs the Vicious, good to see you, sir. Just breaking on scanner page for our hometown. Marco's Pizza in the same plaza as my workplace, held up at gunpoint, armed robbery. You know what to do, brother. I just left work about an hour and a half ago. Jesus, dude. Ugh. What's up, Niai Adiaye? I think I said that right. Good to see you. Cause. We can look at Cause. Diced Pineapple. Good to see you, brother. Jeremy said, aight. You can talk to me after on Zoom. I don't care. All right. So if you haven't done so, please. 37 people on, 19 likes. Everyone go hit like. It costs nothing. It's free. It doesn't take any effort just to hit the like button. See, I'm doing it now. It's easy. Just hit the like button. First, I want to look at Solo because that's what someone asked me to look at first. And we shall. All right, Sologenic. So it's got a really, really hard fall down that's happening right now at the moment. Very, very bearish price action after a pretty solid move up. Overall, down a metric ton. This is 2022. 2022, end of 2022 is probably where we should pull our fibs from because that was the end of the bull market for just about everything. All right, like that. And what do we see? Yeah, it looks like it continues to fail barriers here. We don't have a 821 anything yet. I bet you it looks horrible, and it does. Aha, so look, this is actually smacking the 50 and the 100 moving average at the same time. And the 236 fib. So for as bad as this looks, right? For as ugly as it looks with all this sell pressure, it is going to support. So if there was a chance that you wanted to take because you thought someone was going to hit support, this could be it. All right. I can pull a fib from the recent high and the recent higher low like this. And you see it's in the golden pocket right near Sniper's Alley. There may be a little bit more down here in this, but if this thing can break this red trend line, off she goes. You want to take a chance at a golden pocket run and a bounce off the 50 and the 100. There's nothing wrong with that. All right. That's a solid possibility that it plays out. Risky, but possible. Velo. All right. Velo, still a bit of a falling knife. Yeah, that's all the old limp dick pattern. Can't do anything with this one yet. Not ready, in my opinion. Casper. A lot of people ask me about this one. For what it's worth, a lot of shills on YouTube push this one real hard because, you know, they can't ever be wrong. Some people who don't associate with me, blocked me and whatnot, push this one really hard. You know, I'm talking about if you know, you know. I hate saying that, if you know, you know, because that reminds me of fake nodes. And you in the fake node community know exactly what I'm talking about when I talk about that. But Casper's still failing the trend line here. If I pull back to June 21 and I use December 21, which was probably the end of the run here for this one, and really everything stopped at the end of 20, at the end of 21. So I'll pull fibs from here because I think that's the fair thing to do. November 21. All right, so it looks like we've got pretty bearish price action. It's right smack dab on that high time frame 236 at the moment. Let's pull up some daily stuff here. So it is trying to break the 50 moving average. It's over the 8 and the 21. It's very tight. Do you see this? This is very tight price action right here. I think it's possible that you get a move off of this up toward this 100-day moving average here. It may not go rapidly, but I will say there's a solid possibility. The Bollinger Bands are pointing up. You are over the 8 and the 21 EMA. Where's the 200 at? Ooh. All right, see, there you go. This is likely, in my opinion, to make a move right up here when this 100 and 200 try to cross each other, all right? That price is about 0.042 for Casper. I do think it will move up towards that. From there, hey man, that's a risky proposition. I'd like to see it attack this trend line over here, but we don't really know yet, okay? Some alts are just not going to perform as well as others. GALA. Let's use MEXC. Why am I using MEXC? Because they have usually got all the data there. Usually. All right. Oh, I keep drawing. My bad. All right. So here's the top of the bull market for that, November 21. And the beginning of the bear market. We'll pull a big fib on this because, boy, she took a dick punch, didn't it? My goodness. One could argue that it's still going down. All right. So I actually have GALA on my mega list that I'm working on. I own GALA. I have a GALA node. It pays me about 400 GALA per day, which is the equivalent of about 8 cents, I think. Isn't that right? It's 2 cents. They pay me 400. So they pay me about, no, they pay me about $2. $2 a day. $2, not bad. Can't do anything about it, right? I get what I get. In the bull market, it was kicking ass taking names. We're getting 1,000 GALA a day at 85 cents. Not bad, all right? But that's not happening anymore, okay? So as far as GALA goes, it's really taking a punishing price action move. It's under the 50, the 8, the 21, the 100, the 200. It's under everything. I do like the fact that this thing had a lot of buy pressure coming up, and I think it may have already hit its bottom. All right, I think it may already hit its bottom down here. It may test this bottom, and we can pull a fib on that as well real quick. From down here to up there. All right, so yeah, this hit 786 right here really well and bounced off the golden pocket. All right, then after that, we get a square in here. Right here's Sniper's Alley. From there, you went up and failed to break out of the golden pocket, and you've fallen back under. It's likely this thing moves toward 2 cent flat. I'm willing to take a chance at 2 cent flat. It may fail more. Okay, in this green box here, that's worth taking a chance to me for GALA. I think it'll do well. I mean, I really do it. GALA isn't a shit coin. It's a real thing. They have a real network. You can really play spider tanks. It's a pretty fun game. I've played it a little bit, try to earn some GALA or whatever, right? Yeah, whatever. Let's have a drink. My voice is starting to bother me. Oh, look. The Mulvaneys. You guys have no idea how little I care about what people think about me. I don't care. Say whatever you want to say, bro. I learned a while back, people are going to say what they want to say about you no matter what you do. So I could be a saint and bless people, and people will be like, how dare you? You know what I mean? It's whatever. I could be an awful person and say, oh, fuck them. Fuck everybody. And they would go, yeah, that's right. You tell them. It makes no sense. So you make happy who you can make happy, and you be yourself. And I've always come on here and tried to be myself and be as like straight up, honest, and brutal as I can, because I think adults appreciate that. I think kids have a hard time with it. 18 to 25s, they don't like to be talked to like that because they've never been talked to like that. But us adults, this is Crypto After Dark. It's 11:30, right? Us adults can take it a little better. We ain't no bitches over here. I say that, and some of you still are. All right, XRP. So, been watching this one pretty closely because it got a lot of hype after all that SEC news. Over here was a bit of support after this thing rolled up and then started pulling back. As you see, we've gotten to this support zone right here. Right? Now that we've gotten to the support zone, I can identify that 4 hour has a bit of a falling wedge right here. This is not bearish. This is bullish. All right. This is a bullish falling wedge. What I want to see for me to be confirmed on that is I need this thing to break out of this wedge, dance around on top, and then make a move. Es muy excelente if it does. If that doesn't happen, you get the other option, which is this thing just narrowly rides its way down and comes back down here to this roughly 60 cents area, somewhere in, that's a bit too far down, somewhere right in here around 60 cents, which I don't want to see. I want to see it go back up there, way up again. How brilliant was the woman? She sold half of her XRP at 91.89 something cents, something like that, 89, 88, 90 cents, something like that. She sold half of it. She's getting a 30% rebate if she rebuys. She'll have 30% more than she had before. See how that works, everybody? She sold half, kept the other half. Prices come back down. She can buy more, and she'll have more than she started with. Crazy, right? Yeah. Good luck explaining that mathematics, that basic mathematics to the normal person, because I just don't want to hear it. So there's the two options. I want to see it break out of this wedge one way or the other. Break out of this wedge towards 60 cents. I think you're going to get a buying opportunity. Breaking out of the wedge here, great continuation. If you're already in, cool. We may get a run back up toward that dollar again. The longer this takes, the less likely that is, okay? 75 cents ain't no bitch, and it ain't going to break easy. So I want you to buckle down and be prepared if it doesn't do what you want, okay? I'm happy for it, too. All right, let me go see what you guys have asked over here. Algo, cause, or Pepe. Pepe. Already got cause written down. Digibyte. All right. Quant, I got you, brother. Good to see you, Banjo the Dog Slayer. Cycling Cotton, howdy from Arizona. What's up, brother? XLM. It's IPA day. Bro, look, I tried to find Foster's just today when I went to the grocery store. They ain't had none. I got to go to some specialty beer store to buy Foster's. And why am I buying Foster's? Because there's a couple Aussies watching. And they don't even drink Foster's. But I think it's important to understand that, culturally speaking, we need to drink some different beers to make people happy. It sounds ridiculous, so whatever. I just want to do it to make fun of raclette. I think it'd be fun. So, there's my XRP take. Onward we go. The star of the week is XDC. Look at this heifer run. 3 green massive dildo weekly candles. It has gone directly to the golden pocket, blowing through resistance 2 times. How much farther can it go? Been asked this several times. Well, right now the RSI is literally never been higher than it is right now. That's the highest of the high. You know what? Let's look back and make sure of that. You know what? In the peak of the bull market, it got up to 92. The peak of the bull market, it got to 92. Right now, 86. It was 87 in 2020 during the bull market. Can this keep going? I expect this thing to reel back a little bit. I honestly expect this move right here. You see this? How this thing wheeled back down a little bit? I expect XTC to do that. And then I expect from there, we're probably going to get off and get going. It's pretty much the exact same chart as before. You see that? You had this ride down, this hump, ride down flat and move up, ride down the hump, ride down flat and move up. It's literally the same chart over and over again. I don't see how people don't gather this. Now, I sold this. I'm a fool for that. I should have held on, but I saw it dipping under the support on the daily, and I was like, weekly looked a little better than that, and I should have noticed that. So you don't catch them all, right? It's not Pokemon. But I expect this little rollback move right here to happen up here at some point. It's almost the same time. September, October, right now it's August, September coming up. So it's roughly the same period in time that this happened, all right? Same time frame. That rollback would be nice because that would give us a good little move back. That was a 618 golden pocket retrace back in the day. And that was from the top. Let's see what it did. It was like a 50 retrace to me. Oh, no. Yeah, 50 retrace right here. All right. We've already done more than that over here. So that makes me expect it sooner than later. All right. So again, here's the same thing I just did down there. See that? And it's literally the same friggin' chart. Look at the long wick right here. The long wick right here. Not too much different. All right. This has already blown through the 50 where I thought it would stop up to the 618. So again, this only adds to my suspicion that I think this thing's going to roll back. Where do I think it'll roll back to? Well, that's what we have Fibonacci retracement for. All right. We'll grab this. Pull this to the top. All right. A 618 trace would be back down to 0.045. 50%. More than 50% back. That's a lot to ask, right? Not unheard of, though. If this thing retraces back anywhere around 5 cents, that's probably going to be a decent entry, honestly. That's a 50% retrace and better than most. What would back that up? Is there any moving averages or anything? Yeah, looky here. So you got the 50, the 100, and the 200 all converging right here in time. They're all going to converge right here to this level. All right. 821 has moved way up. That will tag that EMA again at some point here. It's way too far away right now. So I'm expecting around 5 or 6 cents on the pullback. 5 cents would be an excellent entry for me to get back into XTC because I don't think it's done. It's going to do some more of this stuff. All right. I'm not sure if we get this big move down like we got. I believe COVID had a lot to do with that. Things still went on afterwards, right? But it did cause a hiccup, and I believe it cost everyone a lot of gains here on the top end. I don't think we're going to get that next time. I think we'll have something similar, but not as bad. So let's see what happens right here. All right, let's see if this plays out or not. I'll be watching this very closely. This pull down and then ride back up. Pull down, then ride back up, and then the bull market's on, I hope. All right, I'm really, really hopeful. I'll need this to happen as much as you guys do, okay? All right. Diversify in beer, yes. Foster's and a koala live streaming in M1. What are you currently most bullish on? Not financial advice. Just came back from the wee vacation with undrunk beer. I are ashamed. What am I most bullish on? What am I most bullish on? That's tough. It's not altcoins. I mean, I guess, honestly, I'm not most bullish on anything. Not right now. I know the fall's coming up, and I know this stuff's going to pull back some. After that, oh boy, we're going to open up the can. All right. Things I like the best, probably Arbitrum. I just noticed that the ICP chart today looks ridiculous. Sand, Mana, VRA, Injective Protocol, Render, Radiant, Gains, Grail, which is Camelot, Filecoin. Those are great. Not AVAX, FTN. Those are all going to do great. But we're not there yet. So let's look at KOS, which is quite simply the #1 performer in the last year and a half. Undisputed, yeah. I would say it's undisputed. So this uptrend right here, I really didn't expect to keep going once it broke over right here. And then it said, hey, Keith, won't you shut the hell up? I got stuff to do. It bounced clean off that 200 moving average, and it has never stopped since. And now, still ripping. New all-time high. This trend line's still there, but it's just acting like it's not. It's got a channel, a clear channel underneath the trend line here that isn't missing a beat. So as long as it stays inside this channel, which I think is fully possible, you're going to keep getting this. I don't know how much longer this can last. Again, it's a hell of a rip. You got to admit it, right? I got no problem admitting it. Here's a bit of a better look on the channel there. Let me dial this back a bit. I'm probably going to need to go into linear mode too. Yeah, that made the regression channel look a lot different. Let me change the settings here. See, that's not going to be in the channel anymore there. So I'm not going to be able to do that. Going to have to stick with log. It doesn't look good in linear at all. It's totally different. That's why I prefer log mode. You know what I mean? Show me all the candles unchanged. Don't show me data that's corrupted. Show me all the data. So yeah, that's just still inside the channel there. Very aggressive channel. And again, it's been overbought for a while. Same thing with the weekly. Look at this weekly back in March. 93 in a bear market. Not bad on the RSI, okay? Hell of a rip. Can it keep going? It's at the top of the channel. You know, one would expect to retrace. But every time I say this is going to go down, it goes back up. So it's burying my own head in the sand on this one if I keep saying that. It's over all-time high, over Sniper's Alley, over the 821 EMA. I mean, this thing may carry all the way to 6 cents. If it does, that's amazing. I think it would stop somewhere up around 6, 7 cents if it gets there. All right. We'll see. That's a long ass way. ARB. All right. You got a downtrend here, constantly pressing down here. Every time I think it's coming up, snaps its fingers and screws me over. Here is the current look. It's right near a 50 retrace. Hasn't quite completed it yet. Every time I think this thing's going to get up and go, it doesn't. It just smashes me back down and crushes my dreams. I should have bailed on it a while back. You know, still not a bad look, because if you look at it from this perspective, back here, it's kind of got this whole broken trend retest look to it with a falling wedge, kind of like XRP does, just on a much smaller scale. I think this is going to do very, very, very well in the bull market. This ain't the bull market, though. That's what I'm saying. I don't think we're there yet. We haven't quite completed that move just yet. We did hit a 50 retrace here. Not ideal, not what I wanted to see. Now that we've got almost this 50 retrace, I'd really like to see Arbitrum turn the corner here. But again, that's depending on what the DXY does. Need to see DXY retrace. Right now, Arbitrum's in a really bad spot. It can't sit here for much longer. Sit here much longer, it's going to get ugly. All right. ALGO. All right. Where are you at, Algorand? All right. So I went ahead and bought some Algorand for this reason. Look at how absolutely piss horrible this chart looks. It is down so much. It is down so much. It's scraping the previous floor. All right, it's scraping the previous floor. Is it going to break the low? Like, this is previous low on the candles. Obviously, the previous low is way down here, and it's already touched that one time. I don't know if it's going to go all the way down there again, but I felt like even if I lose a little on this one, it was worth the risk because this thing is absolutely getting blasted with sell pressure. And at this point, even if it comes back up halfway, that's a 4X. I'm not mad about that at all. All right. If it just comes back up here to 46 cents, you're well over that's 4.5X. Okay. I'm happy with that. I think it'll do much better than that. I think it'll come all the way back up here to at least the 786 at some point. That's $1.17. Now that's a 10X. $1,000 turns into 10 grand. You see right there, about $1,000 worth. That turns into 10 grand. That's pretty good. This is also on my mega list. I expect this to do a lot. Algorand had a bad bull market last time. It did. Look, it didn't really perform very well at all. It just went straight down and then didn't do much. This is what the ICP chart looks like without this, which I'm about to show you in a moment. Again, it's not a buy yet. Algorand is not in a buy position. I went ahead and bought some because of how low it is. I feel like the risk was worth it at this point for me. Even though it's not a buy signal, I'm kind of trying to buy support here or buy the low. Again, risky. I get it, risky. But if this thing breaks, it's got a metric ton of gains to get back to. Weekly looks absolutely horrible. Look at this. The 100 and the 200 weekly MAs are about to cross up here. You'd like to see some price action come back when that happens. Again, give me that halfway and I'm down. I'm happy as can be. No for sure on this, right? No for sure. Just showing my perspective. Some of these are down so much it's hard to pass them up. All right. Pepe. Then we'll get to a couple I want to look at too here for everybody to see. All right, Pepe still not doing much, bouncing around sideways pretty much. It's down right now. It's not a buy signal at the moment. You've got the 618 fib down at a whole bunch of zeros, 1129. Below that, a whole bunch of zeros, 9828. One of these levels down here is going to catch either this golden pocket or Sniper's Alley. But I think there's a little bit more down left in the tank on Pepe. So it's going to be a no for me on that one. Digibyte. All right. Digibyte, after its run up, has kind of gone sideways here. I'd like to see a break. It's way down also. It is not on MXC, is it? No. I don't know where I'm going to get this. It's on Binance US. But I don't want to send money to Binance US. Binance US is crypto only now. You can't do cash. So if I'm buying it and selling it, I'm swapping it back and forth from Bitcoin to Digibyte to Bitcoin, back and forth, shit like that. I mean, I guess it's still an option. It's viable since I'm Binance US. All right. It's way down also. Ton of sell pressure here. But you can't deny that it appears to have hopped the trend here. All right. There you go. You can kind of see it jump the trend and went sideways. Put some moving averages up there. You are over the 50 and the 100, stuck under the 200. I'd like to see it run back to the 200 again at 008, 009. 009 makes sense. This isn't a sale yet. It's close. It's over the 50 and the 100. It's under the 821, so maybe you scale out a bit, but it's not time to bail. Close, both directions, but not time to bail. Quant. Where are you at, Quant? There it is. Dean, what's up, brother? Doge, I got you, Zach. You said Dodge, not Doge. JASMY, that's kind of a shitter. We can look at it. Ha. Gotcha, cheese. Let's see, what's Solana? Gotcha, King of Light. Good to see you, brother. All right. How's things in the MMA world? All right. Quant looks iffy here. I thought this thing was ready to rock. Look at that, dude. That thing jumped over the trend line and said, let's fucking rock and roll. And then right back down. What a letdown, dude. A lot of sell pressure here. Back to this same support zone region, though. That's why I bought it to begin with. It was kind of sitting down here playing around on the support region. So I'm not totally out of it on this one. I think there still may be a bit of a rebound. And if it doesn't, let's look at what could happen if it fails. All right, now as you see, there's a trend line here. So if this thing fails, where are we going? Yeah, let's look and see. If we fail, 96 bucks is that 50 fib right there that it's ridden on several times. You fail that trend line, you're certainly coming back to 96. My hope is this stays above trend here. I'll tell you what, let's not use this piece. Let's use this. That's the same difference. It doesn't matter which way I do it. This one or that one. That one looks more legit. I'm not sure about that one big wick, but these wicks seem more realistic. There's several of them there. Either way, that 50 fibs are at $98, $96, $98, whatever. Pretty close together. Buying support here. You're not buying a buy signal if you buy this. So be careful on this one. All right, XLM. All right, similar story to XRP. Fallen wedge over the run. This thing outperformed XRP and now is pretty much equal to it as far as chart position goes. Break this wedge north for a run back up to 17 cents. Don't break the wedge and you come back down to 12. It's stuck dead in the middle again. Dogecoin. All right. Showed it was going to break trend and then it rolled back in the other direction. Multiple of them did this, man. Multiple. So if I pull this down here like so, I look at this like so. All right, so this came up and did a golden pocket run and immediately failed that golden pocket. Back down under the 50 now. That's not good. So this better get going real quick. If not, she's coming back down to 0705. This thing needs to break back over this 0752 level. If it does not get back over the 236 level, it is going to go to the 382 level, which would suck because it broke trend and it failed again. Hope is it gets back over 0.075. If it can do that, it can make that run toward 9 to 10 cents, but not until then. JASMY. Oh, my neck popped. I've been waiting on that. All right, JASMY is down a metric shit ton. Look at that. Goodness gracious almighty. It's hard to look at. From an all-time high of 34 cents to 002. That's tough. Does Coinbase ever delist stuff? Because this is the Coinbase chart. Probably not. But it's worth finding out. You're stuck in the range. It hasn't retested its all-time low yet, but it did come close. I don't know that we're going to get back down there and do that again. There's a solid possibility we get one more little pullback. If that happens, that's going to sting, okay? I don't think this one's going to move until all the uppers move. It's likely the case. So just keep your eye on it and be smart. Don't do anything crazy and think you're going to get rich off of one of these shitters. It's usually highly unlikely. Nothing wrong with throwing a little bit at it, but understand that that's throwaway money that you're probably going to lose. All right, High Street. This is also on Coinbase. It's fucking amazing. You haven't broken trend yet, and this is just going back to February. We could pull this all the way back here, but I don't know if that's totally necessary. Point here is we got a big drawdown, and I bet you if I do it this way, it's not going to be much different. You're going to see roughly the same thing. I didn't mean to do that. Let's get rid of this red line here. Let's pull this over to the top. So that was a 618 run. And after that 618 run, looks like we did a 786 here in the other direction. Yes, sir, we did. We're sitting in Sniper's Alley right now. A break below $1 even is awful. Anything above $1.20 is excellent because that's going to break us out of Sniper's Alley and get us going. It has not done so yet. It is still stuck under the trend. You are buying a super risk right here if you do. right? That's a super risk. We want to see, I said 120, but really it's 140, which is attacking the trend line. I think that's possible that this thing runs back to the trend line. One step at a time, though. Solana. All right, so still over this trend line that it broke here. Now it's just fading back a little bit. Thinking about it, looks a lot like XRP. Fallen wedge needs to break north. If it breaks north, that's the go sign. If this fallen wedge breaks back down to the trend line, that's our go sign to try to find a better price down here to buy it, one way or the other. All right, it's the exact same look as XRP, kind of stuck in the mud and wait mode. Not really a buy at the moment, not really a sale. It's tough. I guess I'm going to drink. Now I want to show you guys this ICP chart. I was looking at this and thinking, you know, how much money could this thing make looking this bad? ICP is the number 32 ranked coin by market cap. It's a top 50 market cap. Initial start, $17 billion market cap. Now, 1.7. So, do I think it'll get that much market cap back? Well, look at it. The answer to that question is probably going to be a no from me, big dog. But what if we can just get back half? All right. Let's do this. Let's pull a chart here. We look at this. Roughly the all-time high is 400 and something on ICP by CoinGecko. All right, so we are at 4 cents right now from $400 or whatever. Let me know what. Let's go look that up right now. How about that? Let's go look up CoinGecko and look at. Sorry, it's so bright, y'all. There you go. ICP. And all-time high, $700. Shit. So let's pull this up to 700. There you go. All right, it's from $700 to $4. If this thing makes it back, to $350, just breathe here for a second, folks, because $350 would be right near Sniper's Alley. That is an 83x. 83x. Just back to Sniper's Alley. If it doesn't go to Sniper's Alley and it just goes to the 50 fib, that is a 10x. A 10x. 1,000 turns into 10,000. Just back to the 50, and that's right where resistance is. So I think that may be likely. A 10x just back to here. All right. If things got wild and this thing went back to all-time high, which I think is doubtful for the record, it's 181x. What the hell? Now that's obviously pipe dream stuff. But I do think there's some movement going to be in this chart somewhere. All right. I don't know exactly how far because I'm not a fortune teller, but I know that the resistance level right around in here is probably going to play hell with this. And I bet you it probably stops at $48 at some point. If it ever gets there. But still, that's a 10x from here. I can't pass those numbers up. Okay, could it go down a little bit more to $3? Could it drop even farther than that? Sure, it could. I'll bail if I need to. But if this thing doesn't drop all of the all-time lows, $3.20 here, if it doesn't drop below that, I'm probably going to stay in because I think there's big upside on ICP. That's just going through this mega list that I was making. And I saw this and I said, shit, man, look at the gains here, dude. This thing has stupid gains. Stupid gains. So I'm going to try to take advantage of them if we can. All right. I'm already in this one. I'm going to probably keep it. It just depends. I don't want to be a hodler, but I also realize the gains that are available here. Will it work out the way I'm saying it's going to work out? Man, look, probably not. But I'm still going to do the charts the way I'm going to do the charts. It's not about me. It's about what we've seen on the charts before. All these shitters that happened last time, they were down, way down. And then they came back up to about 50 to the 50 fib, to roughly the 786 fib. Amazingly, they did that. And no one had ever heard of them. No one knew what the hell Forest Plus was, but it went up all the way to the golden pocket, all the way to the golden pocket. And it was a total shitter. All right. So don't tell me it can't happen with this one. That's not a shitter. It's a top 50, top 40. That's number 32. Solid possibilities. Okay. Solid possibilities. What's up, Paulo? Good to see you. Dag, if I've got time, bro. I got you. Hang on. Dag. Similar story as XLM and XRP. You have not broken the fallen wedge just yet. It did come down and back test the trend line just as I thought it may. All right. Now that it's back tested that trend line, I need to see your break. Prove it to me. Prove it. It tried, then it's got stuck here, and it's under a bunch of trash. It's failed the 821 EMA. It's trying to get back over now. It breaks this 200. It's going to run back up here to 5.5-ish cents. The problem here is every single time it looks like it's going to move up, it just gets slapped back down by resistance. DAG keeps trying. It keeps trying, but every time it gets moving, resistance slaps it down. This 200 moving average has been ruthless. All right. Every time it looked like it was coming over, it just bearish engulfed over and over and over again. All right. I'll take the moving averages off so it's a little cleaner to see. You can see the 50 and the 200 down here for support. All right. It's not likely we fall below those. So I'm going to say at worst, a bit sideways downish, but not horrible down. Testing the trend line, again, isn't the end of the world. I'm here for that. As long as it wants to stay above this trend line, I still need to see this red line right here break, okay? Once this red line breaks, I think there's a solid possibility we break that 200 moving average and we run back up here to the green box. That's the 236 fib, which is still very, very low. You still got some bullish convergence here on the RSI. It's still building strength and the price is still somewhat rising. And that's cool. The MACD is going to look the same way. Pull up a pivot. You're right under the pivot. I mean, it is right there. It needs to get over this, right? So it's kind of stuck in the mud a little bit. It's close. A little bit more work to do, unfortunately. Again, I still do think it'll move up. Just not at the pace everyone wants it to. Choose setups, not outcomes. That's exactly right. Risk management, trading psychology, then strategy. The last one is the easiest to teach. Yeah, the strategy is simple. The hard part's getting it through your head. That could not be spoken more precisely. But, folks, that's been an hour. It goes by really fast for me. We didn't have a whole bunch of people on here. We had over 100 people in our Discord today to watch what we were doing over there, though, which is pretty darn cool. I'd love to get more people on here. I understand people don't want to watch this because it's not a bull market and people don't care. However, we build foundations now. So spread the good word, everyone. Let everybody know it's no charge to come here and watch and have a chart analyzed for free. All right. There's no charge for that. Come hang out, see what's up, have a beer, hang out with good adults, be around like-minded people who aren't here just to sell you a bunch of bullshit. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for watching. Make the best of your todays, the worst of your tomorrows. That's good old Jay-Z. And let's not forget about Biggie. Could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me. I appreciate that. Sky's the limit. You guys be good. Zoom after this. See you next time on the next live stream. Adios, peeps. Peace.